At Greek Entrepreneurs Association, we say and propose the following, because we want to be very specific all the time. First of all, we proposed marginal taxes of 10% for additional revenues generated by Greek companies. In other words, although this government has really reduced taxation, it's only a way to reduce it even further, we would like to also to add another shock to the system. The shock is they should, in our opinion, and we've been advocating this the last 5 or 6 years, they should give 10% growth, taxation on growth. That is, for companies that have more revenues than they had, more than the GDP growth, they should be taxed differently. This is very important because not only does not affect tax revenues, but also encourages foreign companies, please pay attention to this, encourages foreign companies to give more subcontracting work to Greek companies, and also makes those Greek companies, especially the small to medium-sized companies that we want to attract in this whole investment cycle, it increases their values. Because if this extra taxation, 10%, applies to existing companies, then it's a really big incentive. The second thing is to increase the size of the Greek market, but also to increase the value of those small to medium-sized companies. At Greek Entrepreneurs Association, we really encourage Greek companies to not just to wait for foreign investments in Greece, but to come out, increase overnight their market by investing in countries, and especially the US. We want to be very ambitious. We want not only our members, but all the Greek companies, small to medium-sized, to come to the US. We want them to invest here. We have a lot of good examples. It started with Titan. Okay, it's a big company, Fage, which created the yogurt market. But we also have smaller companies like Gyros, for instance, that they set up in New Jersey. And then we have also Raychem, another engineering company that acquired 2 companies in the States. This is really what we encourage. And we encourage it not only to make them more attractive so that American companies can invest in them, because all of a sudden they see they have a presence in the US and some other strategic markets. That will increase the appetite for even foreign investors to invest to Greek companies. But first they have to invest to come to the US. And also a side effect on that is that, you know, we've been trying to attract, to convince Greek Americans to invest in Greece. You know what? There's a problem here. The problem is that, first of all, we have not really seen any of these Greek-American investments in Greece, at least to a big volume. Secondly, we cannot appeal to people just with because they love the country of origin. Let's not forget we have, and I'm sure Nick Larigakis will agree with me, we have second and third and fourth generation. Those people are different people. They don't have the link to Greece like their fathers or grandfathers. We have to speak to them on business terms. They still have it inside the Ellinas, inside them, but we have to speak with them more and more on more business terms. So this is about the investments. Secondly, to give a little bit of a positive note about extrovert. You know, an amazing thing happened, and it was amazing because it was unnoticed and it's gradual. All those things, all those years that we had a big crisis, all of a sudden, a lot of Greek companies, and especially the ones you don't know or they're not noticed, they were forced to look at things differently. And they had to become extrovert. They had to look outside of Greece. Greece was in a mess a few years ago. So what did they do, those companies? And this is the interesting thing. They basically look at what we had in Greece, whether it's products, whether it's recipes, whether it's skills, and I'll speak about with specific examples. They took those things, what was available around them, they transformed them, they rebranded them, they made them products and skills that can be sold on a global level. That's what they did. Specific examples, so that we don't get theoretical here. And some of those companies, I'm very proud that we have brought as an association here in this conference. Like let's say in the food sector, we have Rodula. Just I have to give a specific names here. They had the old recipe of their grandmother, yaya, as the Greek Americans say here, like a cheese pie and sweets. And they made them a global brand, and they are expanded here in the States and in other countries. We have Fresh Line, which is cosmetics. They are represented here. They were based on some family recipes of how Greek women in the past used to do, their cosmetics. And with everything. So they took this and they made it global. This was about the recipes, the skills. Listen to this. In Greece, we have, we had very good skills in some areas, like technites, xylourgi, woodworks. Well, here's a company that is also, Epexil is represented today. What they did, those guys, which amazed me, and I didn't know until recently, to be honest with you, they took this, they preserved the skills, and now they have created a small giant, which basically does architectural woodworks, okay? Custom made, because they used artificial intelligence, they used other things to preserve those skills. Talking about skills, to continue what John said earlier, we also have another area of skills, which is Greek engineering. By the way, Epexil, so that you understand, I don't want to forget, this is important, they get now 100 million and 200 million contracts in the States with their woodworks. And all of it, by the way, it's done in Greece. But they had to invest to come to the States. They spend a lot of money to do that. Okay? That's very important. Yes, I'll be very quick now. I'm towards the end. Skills, Greek engineering. Best value for money, I can assure you. I lead a group of companies in the aerospace and defense sector. We relied on this Greek engineering. We relied. And now another area where in Greece we had spent a lot of money in defense and we did not really take advantage of it, but there were skills built in the country. So now, for the first time, we have exports out of Greece of products and services made and designed in Greece in the area of aerospace and defense. And yes, John, aerospace is the next big thing in Greece. Just like Belgium, every euro of investment in aerospace brings you back €6 back. This is the study, and I'm finishing. Another example about skills is another company that's here, Gizelis Robotics. They are a robotics and artificial intelligence implementer and integrator. Not only they use the good Greek engineering and they are exporting, but listen to this, they are also helping the other Greek companies to go back to industrialization, because you have to do it in modern terms, that is with automation. And indeed, as the Prime Minister said a few weeks ago, we do have a rebirth of industry in Greece, and it's coming big time. So, I am very optimistic. This is the recipe to get to 4 or 5% growth, to focus on small and medium-sized companies, expanding overnight their territory, right? And through the right incentive, which we call the government again to have a look at this, despite the fact that they are definitely in the right direction, which is the marginal taxes. And this way, as I said, and it's important, will make those small to medium-sized companies attractive to foreign investors, because they will be attractive not because of the Greek market or the regional market. Who cares, really, in a sense, allow me to say, because they will be global companies. Thank you very much.